Hey everybody, it's Jillian. So I got to give you more insight regarding the isms, the fronts that are charities, as well as this divide and conquer. Okay, so how do you brainwash a population? Like, how do you brainwash a population? Well, you combine the individual, you combine their politics, you combine their religion, their science, their race, their background, their belief systems, and ball them up together to where you don't hold the individual responsible because they will ultimately represent their politics, their religion, their science, their race, their culture, their belief systems. And so a non-discerning person who happens to see some kind of symbol that of their belief system or see something that's easily identifiable, like culture or something, they will take that person's behavior and immediately apply it to whatever their politics, religion, and science, race, culture, belief system. And then anyone that holds those same belief systems or have that same color of skin or culture or belief system will then automatically be painted, okay, as if that person's individual reactions or actions are representation of that whole specific culture. Okay, and so this is how the architects of our society have figured out how to trigger the population and brainwash them into reacting when they see a representation like, two white police officers taking down a black male and killing him. And so that's how easily triggered our population is when you see those two scenarios together. And so that's why then the riots and all the different factions. Okay? On the other hand, too, on the flip side, when a specific politics, religion, science, race, belief system, culture, skin color, whatever, has done good deeds, like they have organizations like charities where they take money and say, okay, we're going to take your money to combat child trafficking. We're going to take your money and fight cancer or, promote cancer research. We're going to take all your money and do, research on leukemia or research on anything out there that you think is humanitarian. Any humanitarian front, I would be very, very skeptical of. Because remember, what can be used for good can also be used for evil. So anytime someone is taking money for an organization, you have no idea what they're doing with that money. You don't know what the front office is or what the back office is. You just see the tagline. You just see the mission statement. But do you really know what's behind the individuals of the organization? Because there's an organization that has this great mission statement, but the individuals make up the organization. The individuals make up the corporation. It's like this corporation is like this entity that people are like, oh, we hate biotech, we hate this, we hate that. And biotech could be used for good. But no, the individuals within biotech are what you have to worry about. And so, we have become very used to painting a broad stroke and combining so many different entities together as if they're one. And so we don't really separate the individuals. And you can have a group of individuals that are representing a specific industry that are doing nefarious things, but the industry is actually trying to do good, but these individuals have actually, tainted the soup. They were the poop in the punch bowl. Okay? And so this thing with the Freemasons and everything, I'm telling you, Freemasonry can be very great. When you have the power to be the architect of our society, you can make society go in any direction when you want. And so I studied Freemasonry, just the background of it in the conspiracy world a couple of years back. I took a hiatus from it, but I did a lot of research in my conspiracy world. And yes, there are the lower degree Masons, and then there are the 33 degree Masons. And yes, there is a difference between the two as far as your power and influence. The lower degree Masons are probably your everyday people that are, plumbers and masons and maybe doctors. But the higher you go in the levels of Freemasonry, the more influence you have on how society is being guided and what belief systems you want to put out there. And so if you are a 5th degree Mason, 1st degree Mason, whatever, and you see that maybe potentially you can reverse all your cancer, disease, and chronic illness and take away the money from these cancer research centers that are basically suppressing evolution, and you see that that's a possibility because you understand Jilly Juice and you get it and you're feeling it and whatever, but you're too afraid to present that to your chapter, to your club, now you know what is going on. Freemasonry is not a free society. There's a specific agenda of control over the population when you belong to a Freemason society. The architects of this mass brainwashing campaign to control people's lifespans and normalize all the different diversity that's out there and be okay with it, and then make it into an entertainment type of piece. I mean, again, like I said, look at your entertainment on television, the TLC channel, the A&E, all the different reality shows. Okay, that is the architects of our society mainstreaming all of the crazy, mad experiments done on your children as well as adults. And then people don't know that their genetics have been messed with. They think it's their parents' fault, or they think it's supposed to be. It's what God intended, and they are miserable until they pass away. And so if you're a Freemason and you're not in the 33rd degree where you are really an influential person, and you try to introduce something like Jilly Juice to your society, most likely it's not going to be accepted. But if it is, then maybe we can paint the Masons in a different way. But at this point right now, the Freemasons have been infiltrated by those that are very imbalanced and that derive joy from the mass destruction of humanity at the micro level as well as the macro level. Okay? It's not about facts. It's about selling a perception. And Henry Kissinger is the #1 guy out there who is famous for selling perceptions. With all these wars that have been started and been perpetuating, different countries out there that are bullying other countries and enslaving them and doing major crimes against humanity. I mean, even the Peace Corps is not peaceful. Okay? Any of these types of agencies that come out of university, question it. Question it. Any charity, any foundation that has a whole, tagline that they're trying to support, the stopping of human trafficking, and you're giving money to all these different cancer research, no. Or children's, like St. Jude's, no. That's a front. What they're doing is trying to devise more ways to destroy you and call it a cure. I knew it back a long time ago, but I didn't want to believe it because I had to really substantiate it. But I realized in my world, my personal world, that when you have good and bad mixed together, when you have good stuff where your life was saved, but then your life was made miserable and things were done to you that shouldn't have been done to you, you're not apt to want to tell everybody in the world because you want to appreciate the good. And so you'll accept the bad. And that's exactly right now our society, is the fact that we have the architects of our society that are giving you good stuff, like, oh yes, we're going to give you money for being a doctor. We're going to give you $100,000 a year so you can go and induce antibodies in the population, and so the people are deteriorating and you're making money off that. But you accept that because you're getting money. And so when you accept the good with the bad, that's when you know you've sold out. Okay? And so that's where it becomes dangerous for those that are part of the fabric of our system. whether they are in the government, whether they are in the doctors, the lawyers, even the teachers, the professors. You know, your degrees have basically given your permission to perpetrate crimes against humanity on your fellow man. And that's the reality of it. As much as you don't want to face that, as much as you want your reality to be like, oh yes, the government's so good, oh yes, these societies and these foundations are so wonderful and they're trying to help this person and that person. I'm telling you, all these different agencies, yes, CPS may take away a kid from a very bad family, but in turn then victimize another child in another family. Okay, so it's like until our society becomes balanced, anything that's out there that you're giving money to, that you have no idea what they're doing with it, don't give money to foundations or societies or people unless you know exactly. And you can see the front of the house and the back of the house. But you know what? You won't be able to see all of that when it comes to these organizations, these 501c3s. Be very careful when something is categorized as a 501c3. Be very careful. All right, bye.